everyone, today we'll be with Paranormal Nightmare, but this is going to be different to my regular content. This will not be a comedy video, so I apologise in advance if you clicked on this looking for a laugh. I promise you that next week I'll be back to my old format, doing comedy ghost hunting roasts. I started a Patreon very recently, and in this, I asked my patrons which video I should review next. So if you want to have an input in this, please join my Patreon. I gave everyone 3 channels to choose from, and Paranormal Nightmare won. But I'd never seen a Paranormal Nightmare video. I just keep hearing about them because they get brought up so often. So I watched a few of their videos, and honestly, I'm conflicted. On one hand, I think they're genuinely good guys. In fact, they're probably the most honest and decent channel I've reacted to so far. Yeah, they may well exaggerate some of their claims during their actual investigations, but for the most part, they don't seem to be big fakers. But I do think some of what they do falls into a morally grey area, and I'm not sure I can 100% get behind them. I'm curious to hear what you think, so let's dive into the video. Rather than going to haunted locations, Paranormal Nightmare visit people who believe their property is haunted. In today's video, they visit Cheryl, and I have to say, with the utmost respect, she is one of the most tragic cases I have ever seen in all the videos I have researched for this channel. So much so that injecting humor into this video would feel totally inappropriate. I probably shouldn't be making this video because it's completely off-brand to my usual content, but after watching this Paranormal Nightmare video, all I could think about is making my own reaction to it.
After the passing of my father, I've been getting deadly sick. I would have bruises in odd places, like on my back or my leg.
This is Cheryl. I would suggest you go watch Paranormal Nightmare's full video for the complete context of what I'm about to talk about and make your own mind up on this very odd video.
I saw something in my bedroom in the corner just staring at me. Dark shadow will whisper in my ear, "I took your dad. Bad things are gonna happen to you. You're gonna die." I am like so scared. Why is this happening after the passing of my dad?
It's actually very common for people to experience visions and noises of what they perceive to be paranormal after a loved one dies. We have studies to back this up even. It's a way of our minds to handle the grieving process. But Cheryl seems to have manifested her loss of her father into a dark, malicious entity intended to do her harm. Maybe she feels more vulnerable after losing her protective father. I can only speculate. I obviously have no real idea.
Nobody wants to come here and visit me because of this.
I have mixed feelings with the way Cheryl is treated in this video by Paranormal Nightmare, and I'll expand on this as the video goes on. But for now, I will say this woman clearly hasn't had much help in her life. So credit where credit's due for Paranormal Nightmare going to her and at the very least listening to her. Often people just want others to listen to them.
The reason why I called you guys here is because the work that you guys do is amazing and you help many families.
I'm aware I'm probably going to be accused of virtue signaling and probably be being accused of playing an amateur psychologist here, but it looks pretty clear to me that Cheryl has some kind of mental health issues. We get hints of the difficult kind of life Cheryl has lived scattered throughout the video, but it seems that she has battered woman syndrome and PTSD from a violent past. I cannot speak for every case where people say they have a demon in their house, but it does seem to be a significant number of people like Cheryl who suffer from mental health problems and also profess to having demonic activity in their house, especially with strong religious roots. I've covered a lot of videos where, at least to me, the property owners who say they have demons in their property are there to make money from it. There is no doubt in my mind that this is not the case for Cheryl. She is 100% convinced and believes everything that is happening to her. I have no doubt there's any faking from her at all.
I'm hateful towards people. Please just help me get whatever this is out of here. Just get them out of here to where I can live my life again and breathe and be peaceful and not be so angry. All I can say is be aware of whatever is in here. I don't know what he's gonna do. All I know is I'm very scared. Just feels like he's in my mind and telling me cry, cry, cry. It's okay, cry. It feels like he's taking his hand and just squishing every piece of air out of my lungs. He wants to harm you guys. I'm not gonna get my life back.
I respect Paranormal Nightmare making this decision, as I don't think it's necessary to embarrass Cheryl about her own living conditions.
I mean, I want to help her, but I worry about the conditions in there.
That's bad. Dude, you didn't see what I saw.
I mean, our goal is to help everyone. But there are times when the conditions of the location, the safety of the area that we're in.
I am none the wiser if these conditions they speak of are paranormal in nature or very real. Like, is it because of a demon or black mold? Is it because of a malicious entity, or is it dodgy flooring? This seems to be a very intentional decision they make.
I mean, do you want to be in this place when it gets nighttime?
No.
I think sometimes we have to put our safety first and understand that we can't help everybody.
I don't feel safe going back in there. And I sure in the heck don't feel safe being here after dark.
I'm not even overly critical that Paranormal Nightmare are looking out for their own safety. They have families as well. I honestly believe they are sincerely upset that they cannot help Cheryl in the way they want to.
I mean, just when we pulled in here, we had people just sitting here staring at us.
And we're already getting a crowd.
This is very important information for later in the video.
I think, like, conditions-wise, for our safety, and I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way. I just want to be completely honest.
Things been happening really bad to me lately. I said I'm depressed and angry, or I'm sick.
Let me grab some holy water and we'll go inside and I'll pray with you, okay?
Okay.
This is where my first criticism comes in. I know I'm looking at this through the lens of an atheist, so I do not want to annoy a bunch of Christians when I say this, but I'm going to say it all the same. This woman needs real help, not just holy water and prayers. I do understand holy water and prayers will help, as Cheryl will believe it helps, and that's what she really needs, is to feel that someone is actually helping her. But what Cheryl really, really needs is a sense of community around her and some social service care. She may have some of this already, I really don't know. It just doesn't feel like that's the case. All I have to go by really is what Paranormal Nightmare have put in the video. Paranormal Nightmare do say in a live stream that they do check on Cheryl on a regular basis after this investigation.
Sean, give me some holy water. I'm going to go inside and pray with her. Lord, we just thank you for bringing us here with Cheryl today and bringing us into her life. I know Cheryl feels bad for trying to communicate with whatever was inside this house.
The stuff that we've had going on before this, I think it's for the best to get out. Because right now we are drawing a crowd already.
Remember, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, He will forgive you.
If you guys would take some time and just pray for her.
Guys, I know that praying seems to be helping Cheryl, but I really hope you're doing more behind the scenes to help her. And yes, I know their argument will be, well, if we do it for one person, we'll have to do it for everyone we feature in our videos. But surely you can agree with me that Cheryl hits differently. This whole thing hits differently. And unfortunately, Cheryl's story gets much worse than here. Much, much worse. As bad as it can possibly get.
In 17 years, we have never just left a case like this.
Well, this is the very first case we have ever left. If what Cheryl is saying is correct, then whatever is inside this house knew we were coming tonight and is ready to do battle. Continuing with this investigation tonight could possibly put the three of us in real danger. With the brief prayer I did over Cheryl's house and Cheryl, will keep this demonic entity at bay long enough for us to prepare ourselves for this battle.
So I really don't understand this. The way the brothers are talking to the camera and to Cheryl leads the viewer to believe that they were in fact leaving and not coming back. I'm convinced this was what the intention was at the time of recording, but something happened a couple of weeks later that made them want to go back, and then they tried to make out this was the plan all along.
ex-fiance beat up my 17-year-old, found out he was in the hospital. They had to do a surgery to see if they could keep my son alive. My son died about a week ago.
So this guy's killed both your kids?
Yeah, he's done killed both of my kids. Please, just please, help me. Keep this thing away. It's working.
I honestly don't understand what's going on here. My heart goes out to Cheryl. What she has gone through, I would never wish on my worst enemy. Really have no idea what's really happening as we get such a small amount of information in this very bizarre story. But how quickly Cheryl goes from mentioning the death of her child to instantly talking about a demon in her house just doesn't quite add up to me. I don't know if this is a way of coping or deflecting trauma, but if she needed help before, she really needs it now. And actually, this circles around to why I'm so conflicted. I can see how Paranormal Nightmare might be helping Cheryl, but YouTubers do not have to adhere to the broadcasting regulations and standards that traditional media organizations have to uphold. Shows like Panorama or 60 Minutes or whatever the equivalent in America will be have a duty of care to someone who is suffering from mental illness, drug addiction, or domestic violence. They would also have to argue that they have informed consent from all participants, and in this case of Paranormal Nightmare, they would find it hard to prove informed consent. Now listen, I am not saying that independent journalism is better or worse than big media, but you can understand why big media have to jump through these hoops, because they do not want to be accused of exploiting someone like Cheryl. After the death of her son, Cheryl is about as vulnerable a person as you can possibly get. And it does feel like Paranormal Nightmare are exploiting her at least to some degree. I mean, at the start of this video, they used her son's death as a hook to draw people in. So yes, I don't think they're bad people, but there's also something not right about all this. I can't be the only one who feels uncomfortable watching this video.
Please help me. Please get whatever is out, call somebody else that's willing to come in here. I can't go up against them. I would lose.
And that he's not going to show up and try to kill one of us.
Oh, he's not going to show up, Josh, believe me. Because he's running from the cops.
Maybe this is the real reason why Paranormal Nightmare left the house the first time round. Maybe this horrible guy was somewhere in that house off camera and the brothers just did not feel comfortable being around him.
I would definitely feel a whole lot better if he was arrested, but at this point I'm like, it, let's just do it.
Whatever it is, grabs a hold of me and says, ha, I own you. It's trying to get inside my head. Whatever this is, we're having a war right now.
I'm sure you're all understanding now why I've made the decision to not make this a comedy.
These new disturbing developments concerning this case has added a whole new element of danger. Despite this man recently being spotted in the area, we have to remain focused when going to battle with this demonic entity. I must warn you, what you are about to witness is extremely disturbing.
Okay, so this is obviously just my opinion, but I think Paranormal Nightmare are some of the few mainstream ghost hunters on YouTube that really actually believe this stuff. We all know the channels that fake belief for money, but that is not these guys. So with that being said, I think a lot of the stuff that is happening to them in that house is because Cheryl has made them believe something is in that house and ready to attack them. And to be fair, if you are a believer in demons, you would feel this way, as Cheryl is very convincing. I don't even believe in demons, and after listening to Cheryl, even I am second guessing what could be in that house. It's a stormy, rainy night. It's about as cliche a scary setting as you can get, which harkens back to my previous point.
This room right here is where they used the Ouija board and did some really bad stuff. Some really evil stuff.
There must be some very big pieces of critical information that are not being presented to us. What evil stuff happened in that room?
Where you conjured up through the Ouija board.
Just hurry up, boys. Just hurry up, boys. Just hurry up, boys.
I'd imagine this is coming from a neighbour. We already know that Cheryl lives close to many other people because Paranormal Nightmare said earlier in the video that their presence was gathering a large crowd.
I feel like something freaking touched me.
Are you touching, Josh?
You'll see as the investigation goes on, this house is crawling with bugs and cockroaches. Big ones too. Given the high stress situation they're already in, and these big roaches, I believe this is what they're feeling when they say they're getting touched, because they claim to get touched a lot. I'm not suggesting they're faking it, I'm just offering another explanation.
Something just grabbed hold of my hip.
Whoa!
Holy
I don't know if I just caught that, but I swear it looked like a black shadow off to the right.
I got breathing in my ear.
In a structure like this, there could well be faulty wiring which would manipulate the EMF reader. There could also be higher than usual carbon monoxide and mold which would contribute to mild hallucinations.
What's crazy is when we came up here the first time, we went through crazy storms. We get back up here tonight and there's crazy storms. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No.
I understand if you're a believer in demons, that a demon affecting the weather probably isn't much of a reach for you. Every single weather pattern, wherever you are on the earth, has a ripple effect for the rest of the planet. So if a demon is making a storm happen for you guys inside that small house, that effectively affects the entire planet. It just seems a bit far-fetched for me, but then again, so does the whole notion of demons.
You don't get to
Chains.
Oh, she was tied up at one point, chained up.
Oh, no kidding.
Who? Cheryl? My God, how bad has this poor woman's life been? This was never mentioned before, and it's not even mentioned again. There is so much left out of this video, which I guess is understandable given how personal and traumatic it all sounds. But when little hints like this are left in the final cut, it just leaves us, the viewer, very confused. At least me, anyway, I'm confused.
You're a freaking coward.
You are too weak.
You're a piece of crap. I know that.
I think you're worthless. Come on, coward. Let's do this.
I'm obviously no expert on cleansing demons from a house, but it just seems like these guys want to provoke this demon rather than get rid of it. I don't know, maybe insulting it over and over again is part of the process? I have no idea.
We're having really bad, cramps, Josh. It's freaking starting to hurt really bad.
Are you trying to affect Sean?
Are you trying to hurt me right now?
My baby.
My
No.
baby. No way. Her ex killed her baby.
Oh God, I don't even know what to say anymore, honestly.
Oh! Jesus. I've never been touched so much in my freaking life.
There are bugs and cockroaches crawling all over the walls and floors of that house. I'm convinced that's what's touching them.
I just need to stop for a second. I gotta get out of this house. I gotta go. Something's not right.
Both the brothers go inside the house individually, they both have alleged activity happening to them, and then they send Cheryl in the house by herself for some reason.
Why are you in my home?
I'm confused.
Why are you confused?
I'm
What?
stuck.
You're stuck? What do you mean you're stuck?
Apologize.
What are you apologizing for?
This is the problem when you give the app to someone who doesn't really know how to manipulate it. The answers given are not that of a malicious demon hell-bent on doing harm to anybody.
Leave.
I'm not leaving! This is my home!
Oh, Jesus.
Me running.
There was a huge fucking black shadow right next to the fucking window. I mean, that. Wait, shh. She's pissing it off and it's attacking us.
Yeah.
You could blame Cheryl for pissing that thing off, or it could be that you were insulting it all night.
Dude, that was so fucking loud. I swear to God, I looked over there and there was a mouse.
Some can hit this window.
Oh,
Okay, so there is no doubt you can see something approach the car and then seems to run off. The car is also physically moved, and I genuinely believe Paranormal Nightmare's reactions here. They look genuinely scared. They think it's a demon taking their frustrations out on them because of the tongue lashing Cheryl is giving it inside the house. But remember what was said at the beginning of the video?
and we're already getting a crowd.
I think some pranksters that were in that crowd the first time Paranormal Nightmare were visiting Cheryl has remembered their car, knows what they're up to, and has decided to mess with them. Someone ran out, pushed the car, and ran away. I know there's a storm outside, but I don't think that would deter kids from playing a prank on a very popular YouTube channel.
Are you leaving bruises on me while I am sleeping?
I won't speculate what medication Cheryl is on, if any at all, but a very common side effect from many medications is easily bruising.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Lord, defend us and protect us during this cleansing and keep us safe.
I don't know why they didn't just do the cleansing from the very start. I guess it's not as exciting for their viewers.
In the name of Jesus, we cast you out. Anything that was attached to Cheryl, any spells or curses that were put onto Cheryl, we cast you to hell. Go back to where you came from. Tell it to leave.
Leave!
In the name of Jesus Christ, leave. Say it.
Leave now!
Okay, everything stopped. It's gone. You did it, though.
Good job, Cheryl.
Now I can feel all the air back into my lungs again.
Lord, as we move on to our next case, our next family, I pray that you continue to watch over Cheryl and keep her safe.
I'm starting to feel like me again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even have a headache anymore.
Later in the video, it said that Cheryl has no longer experienced any more demonic activity in her house. I think I need to address the elephant in the room here. I may well get some hate for this, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the truth, or at least something that should not be overlooked or ignored. Cheryl has issues with her mental health, and all of this is feeding into a delusion. Now, I'm no psychiatrist, so in a Shutter Island kind of way, this may well have actually helped her. Maybe Cheryl needed this cleansing to happen in order to help her move on with her life and be comfortable in her own house. And as I already mentioned before, I applaud Paranormal Nightmare for actually listening to her and taking the time to go to her and help. However, the reality of this situation is Paranormal Nightmare have made money from this video, and I hope they have been able to compensate Cheryl for using her time and story. And before anyone has a go at me, because yes, I am making money from her story also, as I am reacting to Paranormal Nightmare's video, please feel free, Paranormal Nightmare, to get in touch with me, and I'd happily make a donation to help her out. Because honestly, she needs help and support. At very least, a bug exterminator to make her home more livable, and therapy to help her get over the loss of her kids and God knows what other traumas she's been through. I'm only a small channel, but I'd still be happy to contribute something. Whatever happens, I hope she finds some peace, because she definitely deserves it. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment and let me know if there are any other ghost hunting videos you'd like me to review. Cheerio!